Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or my list and sideboard guides before tournaments, check out Patreon or the YouTube membership program. This channel is made possible by these amazing sponsors. Check out all their links in the video description below. Once again, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today, I'm playing Legacy, and this deck is completely insane and captured my imagination the second I saw it. This is from Magic Online user Whoop Orc. It was in the 5.0 deck dump from last week. The league is sponsored by Patreon subscriber Poseidus Chihuahua, who gave me a dealer's choice, and if you know me, and it's up to me, I'm going to play something like this. This is a Shorikai Genesis Engine Jeskai control deck. Shorikai is a 4-mana 8/8 vehicle, crew 8, and it's an 8/8. I said that twice. So 4-mana 8/8 with crew 8, and it has 1 colorless tap, draw 2, then discard a card. Create a 1/1 colorless pilot creature with token with this creature can crew vehicles as though its power were 2 greater. Basically, this thing taps to draw 2, because the looting is offset by the fact you actually get a creature out of it. Kind of a Seasoned Pyromancer vibe here, while also gaining actual card advantage on this gigantic body that eventually, if you start growing it, you get to start bashing. The other engine piece in this deck, a card I had never seen before looking at this list, it's brand new from the All Will Be One Commander set. I think it was added in the most recent Magic Online update. 1 and a white artifact. When Staff of the Storyteller enters the battlefield, get a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. So it's a 2-mana 1/1 flying. Then, whenever you create 1 or more creature tokens, put a story counter on Staff of the Storyteller. And white tap, remove a story counter from Staff of the Storyteller, draw a card. On its surface, this is a 2-mana 1/1 flyer that later you can pay 1 to draw a card, because the staff will enter the battlefield and then it will create the spirit. Then it'll see the spirit entering the battlefield and put a story counter on itself right away. Kind of an inspiring overseer. I think that's the name of that pauper card, the 3-mana flying angel that cantrips when it comes into play. Kind of a hard work to get that. But if you have 2 staffs of the Storyteller, each 1 token you create, it's a story counter on each of the staffs. And then each of those staffs can draw a card. So this scales amazingly. And there are 4 of them in the deck. This is clearly a core engine of this concept. Then elsewhere in the deck, we have Shark Typhoon, which makes creature tokens. We have the Wandering Emperor, which makes creature tokens. We've already talked about Shorikai, who makes creature tokens. All of these put stories on your staff, and then you can draw cards with the extra mana. And all this junk tucked into one of the most egregious and squeezy Azorius control decks I've seen in a long time. 6 forces in the main, 4 force of will, 2 force of negation, plus 3 minor mess step to get the little stuff. 4 plow, 4 prismatic ending, 2 supreme verdict, and Mamma Jam and Humility is in this main deck, and there's another one in the sideboard. Humility makes all creatures 1/1s that have no abilities. And guess what? Most of the creatures in your deck are 1/1s with barely any abilities anyway. And your deck is good at cranking them out. And I don't know how many of the youngsters out there have actually played a game with Humility in play, but it just comes down to counting permanents. Whoever has more 1/1s is going to win. And there's nothing else going on. And we have a deck that draws a ton of cards, which makes more 1/1s, which draws more cards. And our job here is to grind every game to a miserable halt and then win it with our more 1/1s than the opponent. This is exactly my kind of Magic. I love this stuff. This is kind of a Shark Still core, but instead of Standstill, we have Shorikai. Humility's in the deck for insane reasons. Wandering Emperor looks familiar. Staff of the Storyteller is the reason we're here at all. It is the crux of this engine. And as usual, with the blue-white control decks that I enjoy, we are in trouble to combo in the main deck. Look at all these ways we have to kill creatures. I just listed them all, but tons of removal, multiple wraths, and humility in the main. And then just counter spells to protect us from combo. And then the sideboard, of course, is full of things that slow down combo. We got Dovin's Veto, Pyroblast, Rest in peace, Deafening Silence, another force, you know, the usual suspects. This is basically just a mega spicy twist using a bunch of commander cards on a BoshNRoll signature archetype. And I'm here for it. Osadis Chihuahua, thank you for the invite to play this deck. Whoop Orc, whoever you are, thank you for your work out there in the world, putting this in my hands. Let's go see how it goes. I'm on the play in round 1. I don't think I can keep this 1-lander, which is a shame, because Staff of the Storyteller's here already. Gotta send that. Okay, I'm happy to keep this 2-lander, and I'm sending Humility to the bottom. Humility is just a 4-mana spell that I'm not even sure if is going to be good in this matchup. And I'm going to hold up Minor Misstep to start the game. I don't need to ponder. I already have my next land drop lined up. Who knows what my opponent will do here. I'm not going to misstep a ponder, though. I'm going to save my resources. That'll hit a Delver or Dragon Sword Channeler or something at some point. Another Staff. Okay. I'm going to pass again because I can't hold up Minor Misstep and cast Ponder, and I would like to catch the first threat on the way down if I can. In the next turn, I can either play Staff or Ponder for a land drop, then also play Staff. And here we are rewarded with a Dragon's Rage Channeler for our patience. They might just misstep me back, or their card goes to the graveyard. Happy with either of those. Force of Will. Okay, I'd rather hit a land drop. If Ponder finds land drop, I can jam a Staff anyway. Or we can shuffle and be mega punished. I'm going to shuffle. Still looking for that land. Yikes. Okay. That was a tough beat, but we're playing on basics. Not really worried about Wasteland here. How many lands are actually in this deck? It's 20. That's a reasonable number. Oh. We are Rug with Uro. I'm not forcing the front half of Uro. Multiple Wastelands. That's slightly concerning if I find one of my non-basics. I do have a ton of basics in the deck. Let's just hope they show up. Oh no, Mishra's Bauble saw my Shorikai Genesis engine. There are no more secrets here. I still think Ponder is where I want to be. Found a Plains, cool, and another Staff. I don't think I need a third Staff. I am going to start jamming these though. It's time. If they get dazed, they get dazed. I have several of them. We got a Reader. Long pause on this card. Me too, opponent. Never saw this before today. And we're in there. Engine's online. I will say, having played 3 turns total with this deck so far, I'm already thinking about how I have to order these Staffs and Shorikais. Just as a legacy completionist in real life. I will be on TCG player in between rounds here, making sure I have these things just in case. Cool thing about these 2 Wastelands they drew is they may or may not actually cast any spells in their deck, and they probably won't find many targets. Like, they're pretty far away from this Uro still. I will force a Murktide Regent pitching Shorikai, if that's what's happening here. They've seen the Shorikai. This card is just really big. I expect them to fight back here, but I gotta start the fight somewhere. And I conveniently have this 1/1 I can block with. At least for now. Now I have this cool thing I can do, which is play the other Staff, which puts a story on both Staffs, plays around Daze, and makes another 1/1, and draws a card. I'm going. I know my next card is also Staff, so I might as well play around Daze right now, and because I'm missing a land drop anyway, I can draw a card on their turn. I have a couple chumps here, and then another chump coming. I'm not worried about Lightning Bolt. I don't think Delver decks are back on Forked Bolt yet, the ancient Delver technology. And now they got to Uro mana, but they don't have Uro cards because they delved the Murktide. Oh no, are you also a Dreadnought deck? Oh, they're wasting their own Wasteland? Sure. That's a trick that works. Yeah, you can waste your own Wasteland, and now they do have Uro cards. I was looking for a Plow or a Supreme Verdict, and this game is almost over. They're ahead right now, but only kinda. If I can answer Uro in the short term, we'll be in pretty good shape. That's the one that's going to dig them out of this. End of turn, I'll draw a card. It's the Staff we knew about. Now I'm looking for Swords to Plowshares, big time. And I think I'm going to draw with a Staff first before I ponder. Just give myself more options. Ponder, Prismatic Ending, and Flooded Strand. Okay. This is kind of tough. Ending can answer. I think I want the Wandering Emperor, though. But the creature has to be tapped, so they'll draw at least 2 more cards off Wandering Emperor before Wandering Emperor kicks in. So if I take the Prismatic Ending now, play Staff of the Storyteller, get another 1/1 in play, I can Prismatic Ending Uro next turn, and then I just got to work through this Murktide. Look at this. A token representing 3 potential card draws. This deck is sweet. Even if we end up falling behind this game, I like what's going on here a lot. A Lightning Bolt. Okay, they're starting to push through. This one I will force. I can't put myself to dead on board. An attack for 12 here. This puts me to 6, then either creature is lethal. Oh no, they drew a bolt. Shit. Okay, now we're probably dead. Okay, so what I need to do here is fetch for a 3rd color, draw a card, and hope it's Supreme Verdict or Swords to Plowshares. Supreme Verdict? Uh-oh. Okay, I am probably dead here. Prismatic Ending doesn't help anymore. Brainstorm. Found a plow, but it's too late. Okay. The second 6/6 and the flurry of removal spells got through there. No problem. This is fun. Rest in Peace good against this deck. Pyroblast good against this deck. I don't think I want to Ruination this deck, though I do think it would win if I did it. But you have to find a spot where you're far enough ahead. Probably not interested. Forces, not great. I should expect Minsc and Boo, probably. Okay, shit. Yeah, that card is important to beat. There's no Caracas in the list for that one. Okay, maybe I can't cut all my forces. Definitely 3 of them. The negations can go. Humility is pretty medium. I mean, it makes all their stuff 1/1s. We have seen Brazen Borrower. Part of some concern. Maybe it's Shorikai. Gets a shave and I leave in 2 forces. Or do I flip these forces to be Dovin's Vetoes and just shut Minsc and Boo all the way off and have 0 2-for-1s in my deck? Yeah, I'm going to try this. I will keep this one. Land drops to make, play on basics, Rest in Peace, chillin'. This could be a Stifle deck, which is something I need to stay abreast of. Just going to Prismatic Ending now, though. Like, seeing Uro in the deck, this could be a Pokepile with somewhere between 0 and 3 Stifles. I don't think it's a dedicated Stifle deck, but we haven't seen enough to know that it's not. Dragon's Rage Channeler, alright. Pyroblast was a good draw here. That punches through a Force of Will, and I'm beating a Daze anyway. Let's rip it. If they have Force and Daze, whatever. I'll take that 3 for 2. Force of Will, pitching Brainstorm. I'll let them surveil first. Surveilled an Uro. Really hope this resolves. And I am going to get Basic Mountain. Don't daze me. Oh god, we're in there. We took an Uro with us. GTFO. Now I got to beat this 1/1. Which my hand can't currently do. Just being honest. But I am ready for a Minsc and Boo. 1 Staff of the whatever. Staff of the Staff people will stabilize this board and draw me a card. This card actually called Storyteller. Staff of the Storyteller. Second DRC. Okay. Time to flood the board with shitters. Brainstorm does see a bunch of extra cards, but they don't gain any value, no matter what they are. Put them all on the top. So they like the card, whatever it is. Fisher's Bauble. Okay. Still leaving all their cards on top of their library. They just like everything they've found. They could have used Brainstorm and DRC to clear some bad stuff, and they just didn't. So is it like Brazen Borrower? What are you holding on to that is worth getting 0 selection out of all these options? I'm going to hold on to the Swords to Plowshares for a minute, see what happens. I wonder if it's something like Counterbalance. I'm going to plow here. If they kept Mercurial Spelldancer on top and I wasted my plow, I guess they got me. I should have just plowed on my turn if I was going to do this, because now I'm open to minor misstep, which just happened. This is not my fight for Dovin's Veto. But they did miss a land drop last turn. It's fine. I'm going to trust my deck with Shark Typhoon and Supreme Verdict in it to beat 2 DRCs that can't get Delirious. Oh, heck yeah. Staff of the Staff people. Busted card. They were in there, and I have the cantrip ready. I don't think I want a cantrip now, though it wouldn't hurt. I don't know. I'm just going to rock out here. Land number 3, they snapped it off. Is this Maddening Hex? Court of Cunning? It is Maddening Hex. Okay. Glad I saved this veto. They bend a Murktide and a Scalding Tarn. I'm actually going to fetch here because I don't want to fetch another basic planes. And I want to look at what my options are before deciding how I'm spending my mana this turn. I guess I'll just get Plateau. It's another red source. White, blue. And then I can still draw a card. Dovin's Veto, folks. I hope their hand is Force Blue card that they've carefully sculpted over all these past couple turns. No attacks. Coward. Okay, time to go off. Gotta fade Minsc and Boo. Ponder's a good one. Shorikai Genesis Engine is here. Is it time? I think it's gotta be, right? Why am I even here if I'm not jamming Shorikai Genesis Engine? It's on the stack. If their hand is Force Blue card, it means it's not Minsc and Boo. Sick. It was Force Blue card. They worked so hard to get to this spot. That was an awesome Dovin's Veto. Okay. That was great. And now I get to ponder and see what else is going on here. All right, Swords of Plowshares and Prismatic Vista. I will keep those cards there and just pass the turn. Ponder from my opponent. Into Force. Into an Uro. Rest in peace doing work here. Did not shuffle. I expect a Bolt here. Yeah. Bolt. Milled Delver. Wow. Delver seems like the type of card you'd want. I think I'd rather shuffle away the Swords of Plowshares and try to get an engine back online than just answer one of these DRCs. I'm going to fetch. Get Island and then hope to do something that does something. Ended up with a plow anyway. I'll just kill one of these now before they can minor misstep it. We are both drawing wild. They are slightly ahead. I can bust it open with a lot of stuff. One Shark Typhoon ends the game here. Wandering Emperor slaps 2. I'm going to pass the turn. They would have to draw Force of Negation, exactly, to beat this Wandering Emperor. And I'm going to make a token with Wandering Emperor, not do Exile mode, because I can block their 1/1 with my 2/2, and making a token puts a counter on the staff. This one plays into Bolt, but they probably want to bolt the Emperor anyway, not the token. That was a good, tasty little lunch. Uro. Okay, emergency Uro. Just cycle that for 3 mana. Send it straight into exile. And draw a card off my staff. Oh my god. What a world we live in. This is just shit you can do. I'm going to make another token, and I'm going to draw another card off my staff. Wowie. Shark Typhoon. Okay. Joy has been sparked. Ponder from my opponent. Go nuts. There are presumably still 3 lightning bolts in their deck, if they want to do 9 to me that way. Right now I reach my final form, make a gigantic shark that also draws a card, and then next turn we'll also draw another card, thanks to the staff. Another staff, oh my god, the engine. The engine! And minor misstep, now I can't get bolted either. Give a samurai +1/+1 at first strike. I'm going to draw a card with my first staff. And then reload both staves with the other staff. Jeez. Outrageous. Okay. We've now seen Maddening Hex, which my only good answers to are the vetoes and prismatic endings. I don't think filling my deck with forces is a solution. But I hate Maddening Hex so much. And we didn't see a Minsc and Boo, and we did see half their deck that game. between everything that got exiled and milled. But I don't think that means they don't have it. That's like a reason to be rug in my mind. Minsk and Boo doesn't work with humility in play because Minsk pumps a creature with trample or haste, which Boo won't have. So I do have an answer already. Ending Hex, though, yuck. That's a card that will beat me if it resolves. And maybe I just have to respect that it's a card they have and use my vetoes and endings appropriately. Okay, yeah, I'm not bringing Force of Wills back in here. Uh-oh. The one lander that's not a basic and full of 4-drops. I'm going to mulligan this one. This is how we do it. Deep and bottom humility. Wonder how many times I'm going to say that this league. We've played 3 games and I've said it twice already. I'm going to play Flooded Strand. This can fetch Plateau if I need to Pyroblast something without exposing me to Wasteland now. I have both Veto and Ending that can tangle with X. I'm not in the business of firing off aggressive Pyroblasts on turn 1 Brainstorms. The game's going to go so long, they'll draw all these cards anyway. I'd rather point it at an Uro or Murktide. This land go off the Brainstorm, Swords to Plowshares, happy to add that to the stable. Maybe they'll try to shove Maddening Hex with Force back up again. Worked out so well last time. Got a fetch in the upkeep. It's Uro. I think I do want to plow this Uro right now. I don't want to worry about it coming back around. It kind of sucks that Rest in Peace is in my deck somewhere and I might just draw it. But I feel like this is the responsible way to go after the way Game 1 just slipped away. Because I have inevitability in the matchup. Just need to get to the point where my inevitability matters. Pyroblast, Shark, Typhoon, land. Done. I can still veto or Pyroblast as necessary here. Sylvan Library, gross. Prismatic Ending's going to have to handle that. I'd rather trust Dovin's veto to beat the Maddening Hex, because I'm actually more worried about that card. Blue-white. If they Force of Will here, I will Pyroblast, which puts my shields down for a Maddening Hex, but I gotta clear this library. Force Pitching Daze. And I will Pyroblast, not Dovin's veto. Which unfortunately opens me up to minor misstep. A second Force. Okay, so they spent 4 cards keeping this library in play. I think it'll pay them out for it, but I'm done fighting over this. There's nothing to even brainstorm for. I don't have forces in my deck right now. Okay, gotta hope they don't immediately jam Maddening Hex. I have concerns. 4 mana, please don't Minsk and Boo me. Oh good, it's just Uro. Which is a weird thing to say, but also how I feel. Did just fetch, so I'm drawing Wild. Red Blast is nice. I think I just pass with all my mana up this turn. Because all my cards are good, what am I looking for with Brainstorm? It would basically be Prismatic Ending to clear a library. But Red Elemental Blast covers Uro, Dovin's Veto covers Maddening Hex. I'll make a Shark of any size this turn, other than 0. Like if I Pyroblast and then we move forward, I'll make a 1/1 Shark. If I have to do more than that, I'm not going to just cycle it for fun. Red Blast this Uro. That worked. Happy to see it. And 1/1 Shark incoming. It's looking for this Velocity. Start pressuring the Sylvan Library somehow. Another Veto. Another Typhoon. I'm going to Brainstorm this time. I don't need 2 vetoes in my hand. Okay. Aggro Red Blast, you got it. And attack for 1. Been a long time since we had to play against Sylvan Library. Wasteland's going to find a home. Oh, it takes me off blue too. Jeez. I'm going to make a Shark here. I'm not doing anything else with the mana. They can move phases and jam their Maddening Hex or whatever next. So I'm just going to do what I can here. Delver, I can beat that card. DRC, okay. That could have been worse. Prismatic Ending with Pyroblast backup. Okay. I'm going after the Sylvan Library now. It's time. This thing has done too much. And I'm on defense. Lightning Bolt, a Shark. Okay. Kept their card on top, which I have to assume means there. Nice. Once again, rewarded. For patience, I would rather counter this penny theft than kill the Delver, I think. But it's tough because they're in range to escape Uro. Or they're going to escape Uro, and they're going to flip Delver. But the DRC... Okay, cool. They into Daze. So they don't know that they're flipping Delver. They are playing Uro this turn. And DRC is not Delirious. Okay, I mean, Shark Token holding up pretty well here, but we have to beat Uro now. They have a fetch. Is there a Mystic Sanctuary in the deck? Nope, just fetching. This is how this game feels without Rest in Peace. Uro, such a good card. No attacks, that's smart. Why give me a trade when you're probably going to just beat up everything I'm doing next turn anyway? Wandering Emperor, I do not hate. Can't play her till next turn. And hope they don't make me Dovin's Veto anything this turn because I would lose my Emperor to do it. Or some negation shit. Guess I have to shuffle this away anyway. I will absorb the damage I can absorb here. Shark won't hold up forever. Okay. So I have to fetch basic planes here and hope to draw Supreme Verdict. Verdict. Shit. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's looking bad, team. Starting to slide away from me here. And Uro, who you can't exile, will win the game. Brainstorm. If they get Delirious here, do they win 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? No, still not quite. And they're making their attack. They get their big Uro trigger. It's Supreme Verdict or Bust. And even Supreme Verdict, they're now at a point where they can replay Uro. I'm not quite in bolt range. I'm close. Supreme V. Verdict, Verdict, Verdict. Swords to Plowshares when I'm at exactly dead. Rule Fate. Okay, yeah, the Uro. I could have Dovin's vetoed the Sylvan Library this game, which would have taken that early card selection card advantage off. I was just so scared of Maddening Hex that I didn't do that. And I had Prismatic Ending in hand. They just had double force to punch it through. Yeah, I think they picked their spot correctly in protecting the Sylvan Library, which got them over the Uro hump. And then once Uro's bearing down, you know how quickly games become unwinnable. But yeah, that was a tough build of Delver to queue into right away. The Uro stuff. I love Rug Delver with Uro, just saying, but having played against it just now, tough beat. On to the next one. You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7 Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better. I'm on the play for round 2 with Island Ponder and Staff of the Storyteller. Let's go. Hope this is a creature matchup. I'm going to be saying that a lot with this deck. Opponent's on a mull to 6. I'm going to fire off Ponder here. Okay, these are some good hits. Generically good Magic cards, kind of what I'm looking for when Ponder's not specifically looking for anything. Just Reinforce go. That's what I like to see. I think I'm going to try to Staff on turn 3. Because I can Brainstorm and Misstep this turn. I don't know what I'm playing against yet. Maybe I don't want this Plow. Maybe I don't need this basic Mountain. End step, fetch, untap. Fascinating. Okay. I'm going to Brainstorm now. I know my top card's a land, but I think I can send this basic Mountain and Supreme Verdict. Yeah. Sure. Okay. I'm going to fetch for a Plains in my upkeep. And then I'll play Flooded Strand and the Staff. Let's go. I got your Ice Fang Coatl right here. We're in there. Okay, engine online. Oh my god, Ice Fang Coatl. What a surprise. I'm something of an Ice Fang Coatl myself. The bad news is, if they jam Show and Tell here, I'm in trouble. No attacks. In the end step, I'm going to fetch for Plateau. No, I need more blue. I'm going to get the Tundra. Just hope that red doesn't matter here, and I'll draw my card. Found a land. I'd really like a Force of Will. I have concerns about where my life is going right now. And I will attack. They didn't attack, which made me think that I should. And Shark Typhoon beats Coatl. Heads up. Another Coatl. I strongly suggest, or not suggest, suspect this is a combo deck, not a control deck, but I hope it's a control deck. Like if they go Veil of Summer, Show and Tell right now, my life is pain. If they're just like Coatl or O stuff, I'm in great shape. Okay, I'm not going to tangle with these, with the Shark Typhoon and tap out to do it. I will make a 2-2 in the end step. And I'd rather have a 2-2 and a future card than a 1-1 and a card right now for the staff. Like leaving white open for staff. I don't need to do that. Get my story counter. Prismatic Ending, another. I will attack for 3. Push my advantage. Do I want to draw a card now? I could jam Shorikai now. I guess what I'm worried about is if I jam Shorikai, they'll panic and cast Show and Tell. And I want them to think that we are actually playing a nice back and forth game here. Even though I'm just freaking dead. Wandering Emperor was a sweet draw. Brainstorm, I am going to fight over that with Misstep. They've been farting around for long enough. Even if this gets veiled, I guess they could still Show and Tell the same turn. Alright, glad that didn't happen. Mystic Sanctuary rebuying Brainstorm. Not a sign of strength. I don't have high hopes for this Swords to Plowshares in the matchup. I'm going to zap them. Uro's probably in here somewhere, but I'm going to take my time. I got lots of answers to Uro. Just keep attacking. They get the trade with the Death Touch, it's fine. I think it's time for Big Shorikai. We're in there. I have resolved Shorikai on the channel. First time for everything. Cunning Wish, okay. Confirmed a combo deck here. Let's see what they're wishing for. We know Brainstorm's on top of their deck. Oh, Force of Vigor, that's dope. So we'll draw a bunch of cards in response to this Force. Oh, they changed their mind. They went like they were gonna activate Force, or cast Force, and then didn't. There's a green card in their hand. I suspect Veil of Summer. I always suspect Veil of Summer. There's a kind of awkward whack-a-mole here, where if I fetch, they can Force a Vigor. Okay, if I do it now, they can't. I want to get my Plateau and activate Shorikai right now. Activating Shorikai now could put Force of Will in my hand, and it does make a token. Okay, I did find a Force. And I think I'm good on lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I will discard Prismatic Ending. Because land number 7 gives me Wandering Emperor plus Force of Negation next turn. Ponder, shuffled. Good stuff. Lotus Petal. Uh-oh. Kind of hoping for a hard cast Force in the end step, because if I untap, I can Force of Negation their Force of Vigor. Okay. We're in my turn now. They forced pitching Atraxa. Okay. That's what's going on here. I'm just going to draw a bunch of cards in response and then let it happen. Shorikai first. Nice. Discard Prismatic Vista. And then I get a card from the staff. Force of Will. Let's go. This engine is certainly something. I'll play Prismatic Vista, and I can play one of my halves and still hold up Force and Force. And I am just going to fetch now. Might be too many planes, but I'm going for it. Oh god, please spin a counterspell on this. Alright, just a snake. Okay, so this is an Atraxa Omni Show list, for sure. The fewer cards in their hand, the better. Days. That's clever. That could take me off double Force. They have 2 cards in their hand other than this land. Alright, I'll take the bait here. I could also just draw a card off staff and it could be blue. So anything could happen. 3 cards in hand that I don't know about. 1 land, 3 cards. Mystic Sanctuary picks up Ponder someday. Yeah, the days wasn't just bait. Picking up Mystic Sanctuary is actual value. Humility. That's pretty good against Show and Tell. Another Wandering Emperor. And this is the magic of Humility decks. You just get to shove your creatures into their creature because you don't care about anything. It's just counting up 1/1s. See who wins. Second main, another staff. I'm not going to play the humility. Just saying. That'll come in off show and tell if it comes in at all. And my staffs are storied back up. Here's this ponder we knew about. They're so low on cards at this point that I'm not really worried about Veil of Summer. I can outmuscle that with multiple counters. Ponder did not shuffle, and then they made a land drop. 3 cards in hand. One of them's Lotus Petal. Are we just casting Atraxa? That's what it looks like. Maybe I should have played Humility. I'm just going to hardcast Force here. Bang. And Atraxa only costing 7 versus 8, and the most of it is colors you actually want to play. That's pretty impressive that you could just go that deep. Okay, Pyroblast, Dovin's Veto, Humility all coming in. Cards that are less good, Prismatic Ending. I kind of expect an Uro Juke, but Pyroblast hits that. I'm a little worried about a Sylvan Library Juke. As we just saw last game, that's not a place I really want to be, so maybe my Plow should come out and Ending should come in. Because Pyroblast kills Atraxa and Humility blanks Atraxa. They could have Shifting Ceratops, the card that's historically in this style of deck, where Swords of Plowshare is very good. Do I want Supreme Verdict? That honestly doesn't seem that important. So 1 Plow, 2 Endings, and then a bunch of Red Blasts can answer most things. Wandering Emperor, Humility, Supreme Verdict, all hit. Random green creatures. I don't think I want Rest in Peace, even if they do have Uro. Okay, I'm going like this. Okay, handful of mana and interactive spells. Doing it. Ponder. Good start. And I'll start on an island through another Dovin's Veto. If they don't Sylvan Library right now, we're okay. Oh god, just snapping off. I hope this is Carpet of Flowers. Okay. Still not like happy about that, but at least it's not Sylvan Library. Though it could still be Sylvan Library. They get another mana here. Leading on the basic, or the fetch would have been better. Just play around this a little bit. Shuffled that Ponder. Okay, Basic Plains is the land that I want here anyway. It doesn't feed the carpet, and it does cast every spell in my hand, so no reason to play out the Tarn. Veil of Summer is the card I'm scared of, as always. Brainstorm. They did not miss a land drop. Still rolling. Wow, they're just in. They must have force backup. Thanks, Dovin's Veto. Or a second show and tell. Like, this is either bait, or they can protect it in a way that Dovin's Veto ignores. Carpet of Flowers could quickly cast Atraxa. I hate that. I think I need to leave up a second Veto. They were so willing to raw dog that show and tell that I want another layer up. Next turn I can play Staff and still hold up Veto. Ponder. I just had a conversation with a coaching client earlier today about cards like Carpet of Flowers. It was specifically in terms of Aether Vial rather than Carpet. But there's kind of this squeeze where it's like, I'll get the Veto another show and tell, where it's like, this card's scary and gains incremental advantage over time, but also the removal and interaction is so good these days that if you get through the advantage that it creates, your opponent's down a card. And I'm kind of in that spot where I'm just hoping that this Carpet of Flowers runs out of gas or runs out of things to eat before it wins the game. Okay, this Brainstorm's good. I don't think I need it right away, though. I'm going to Flooded Strand and Staff. Engine online. 2 show and tells in the bin. And my Battle Cruiser's going. The problem is they're a busted combo deck and could end up with another round at any point, and I lose the second they do. Oh no, a third one. Okay. I will Brainstorm in response. And I'm not messing around anymore. I'm just going for best lands I have available. Pyroblast is good here. Force is good here. That was none of those things. Put back land and Emperor. I guess Plow can answer anything Emperor would. All right, I'm going to have to fetch again here. And I'm looking to Brainstorm into Humility or Force Blue card. Almost got there. Bummer. Okay, put back Volcanic Island and Staff of the Storyteller. And then I'll put in Blooded Strand off Show and Tell and see what happens. Omniscience is what happens. Impulse. Okay. I can still draw a card here off Staff of the Storyteller, and if it's blue, I can force something. So we'll just see if they find the Emrakul that completely disrespects everything I've got going on, or if a Cunning Wish hits the stack, I'll try to force it. All right, they had Emrakul, sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got me. The third Show and Tell in a row. Finally made it through. Okay, seeing that they are on Carpet and still just trying to ram Show and Tell, I may have juked a little too hard. Swords to Plowshares out. My Prismatic Endings all in. Still like Humility. Probably not a lot of ones in this deck. There's the Veil of Summer I've been worried about and all the cantrips. I guess Carpet's a 1. Maybe 3 is too many Prismatic Endings, even in the face of Carpet. And I think Shorikai is better than Supreme Verdict. They're both blue, they both cost 4, they're both unlikely to affect the game. I could also cut a Staff and get a Plow back in. Just hate the idea of getting just juked by Uro or some stupid dinosaur. Okay, let's do it. A Pyroblast present in this hand, a card I had not seen before. Just gonna fetch Volcanic Island right away, get the party going. I don't think they're gonna turn 1 me, at least famous last words. A blue card to go with my Force of Negation. I can answer a Carpet if they play that, and still hold up Pyroblast plus Force. Shorikai is a win con eventually. Why did I just say Shorikai? Was that the third card down? It was in my head for some reason. Am I still thinking about sideboards? Ponder is the next card down, not Shorikai. You do have the Carpet. The sideboard change paying off. Prismatic Ending is good here. Did not shuffle. I hope they need this mana, because I'm taking it. End your Carpet. And it's gone. 2 layers of protection. Land drop coming. Cantrip. I like my current position. I would like to advance it. Oh, there was a Shorikai. I wasn't completely insane. It was in there somewhere. I'm just going to pass here. I'll make a 1/1 Shark Typhoon if they don't do anything. No, I'm just going to fetch Tundra, or I guess this could conceivably be some sort of back to basics strategy. I'll get a basic, it's fine. Shark Typhoon. A little Ice Fang Coatl action. A lot of Ice Fang Coatls and functional Ice Fang Coatls in this game right now. Do I ponder here? I think so. Cool. Found a veto and an ending. Don't shuffle. I can veto Pyroblast and Force. Could Endurance me, I guess. That's a card that's conceivably in their colors and in their deck. Brainstorm. That's not my fight. I would misstep a Brainstorm. I'm not going to Pyroblast a Brainstorm, though. So big mana. I'm going to lead on the Pyroblast because I can Dovin's Veto a Veil, but I can't Pyroblast a Veil. And if they jam a Force, that's even better. Sick. All right, then veto the Show and Tell underneath. And I can still force a Veil if I have to. We pitched an Atraxa. Okay, it's time to jam Shorikai. I have mana up. I have Force blue card against their 3-card hand. And Shorikai can start doing big mech stuff starting immediately. And this is just straight up draw 2. Like, I don't even have to loot away a Force to activate Shorikai here. This is a magic card. Dump a Prismatic Ending, keep a handful of Forces, add to my board. Heck yeah. I can just Shorikai right now. Oh my god. This card is sick. I'm going to discard the Tundra. And now I have a wall of interaction. I don't think I need to ponder right now. Burrow. Surprise, he was here the whole time. Yeah, surprised, not surprised. There are still 1 Prismatic Ending and my Wandering Emperors that can tangle with an Uro. I can also just force it a couple times, see what happens. Activate Shorikai. Oh, Humility. Don't mind if I do. I'm going to discard one of these Force of Negations. I feel like I'm rolled up on Forces and would actually like some mana. Back with my creatures, and then I'm going to cast Humility. I just want this Uro to know that it's not part of the game. Bang. Ancient Show and Tell tech in 2023. They do have 5 cards in hand. They could force. They'd probably force back. Force pitching Atraxa. That's a safe pitch because Atraxa doesn't work either way here. Either it's not in your hand or it's not playable. I'm going to force back pitching Ponder. I feel like keeping counterspells in my hand is more important because Shorikai is just the ultimate Ponder. Cool. Party time. Don't care about Uro anymore. Now we're just playing 1-1 counting game versus Omniscience. But Omniscience, a lot of the Omniscience kills in current day Legacy end up with like Emrakul in play anyway, which is a 1-1. The Cunning Wish lines, they don't release the ants anymore. They shared summons for Emrakul. Oh, the staff. Unbeatable. I'm going to combat first. If they have any big ideas about interacting, it's going to happen before my game breaker comes in. Staff of the Storyteller. And I learned a story. I don't need to Shorikai or story right now, but I could draw 3 cards at a moment's notice. Cunning Wish. Go ahead. Force of Vigor. Okay. They can counter that in a variety of ways. They can hardcast it, but I don't even care if they do. I'm just going to go in on making creatures and drawing cards on the end step. They're just dead on board with an Ancient Tomb for mana. And we did it. Beat Show and Tell, which is historically one of the scarier matchups for blue-white base control decks, but Humility, hell of a thing. On to the next round. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. I'm on the play with Island Plains Staff Keep. New shirt idea. Changing my brand immediately based on how much this card rules. Just gonna Island Go with this Force. And get my engine online next turn. Windswept Heath. Who does that? Windswept Heath Go is the weird part. I suspect a Depths deck. Because Elves would have done something. This is like crop rotation or just a white source for some blue deck. I don't know. Another pause while Staff was on the stack. Everyone's reading this one. Don't blame you. Read it. Live in fear. Fetched in the end step for a forest. That's the second end step fetch untap we've played against. This one's not even in a Brainstorm deck, so it makes a little more sense, but wild. Or are we mono green? Oh, we're 8 mulch. Fun. I'm not going to counter the mulch. I'll save that for a loam. Mana Bond and Crop Rotation hit the bin. Tabernacle's kind of a beating against my deck, honestly. As annoying as that is. Ghost Quarter is not good for me either. I'll just attack for 1 here. Lands decks are tough. I have a board full of Ruinations. I got Force and Negation in my main and my sideboard. I've got plans. Mana Bond, this one's a no, and I'm going to use Force of Will on it, not Force of Negation, because Loam is a bigger problem, I think. Maya, okay. And I'm going to get Shark Typhoon pump in here, or do I just draw a card? I'm going to draw a card. I'm not going to blitz this opponent out with Tabernacle in their hand with a pile of 1/1s. Great draws. Found another staff, which resets the first staff, gets me 2 more cards. Shark Typhoon keeps the blue cards flowing. And we're in there. Refill my stabs. It is medium tilting how good Tabernacle is against me, though. They're doing something with mana in response. Someone's got a crop rotation, I guess. Load me up. Tell the tale of my people. Thespian Stage, okay. They can rotate for Dark Depths. I'm going to fetch in the end step and draw a card. I'm not even sure if I will force crop rotation here because I have 4 blockers for Dark Depths, each of which draws some number of cards eventually. And I'm a Swords of Plowshares, Prismatic Ending, Wandering Emperor deck. Wow, that's a tough sell, actually. Glad they didn't make me decide. I'm going to draw another card right now. Ponder is a card I can cast and still do everything else I want to do, but I think I'd rather Shark Typhoon. Yeah, I'm going to pass. Because right now I can hard cast Force of Negation and pitch cast Force of Negation. Force on the hard cast. And their crop rotation's in the graveyard. Perfect. And I still have a Force of Negation to brick a Loam. Still not that worried about Dark Depths. Mulch. Go ahead. This one hit 2 Loams. Bummer. 0 lands, though. Might be time to tilt Tabernacle me. Sure is. I'm going to pay for these creatures at least one time. Got Swords to Plowshares for my trouble. I don't think I want to Ponder here. If I miss the blue source, I'll just be in the trash, where right now my plan is to Force a Negation their Loam. Sageing one of my things. Okay. Cool. I'll grab another island here. Yeah, them having 2 Loams, tough beat, but I am gonna exile one of them. Force of Negation that. They targeted Boseiju, Maze, Wasteland. That was a weird set of things to target. I guess Boseiju, Maze, but the Wasteland's kind of strange. I'll keep my creatures around for another spin. Wandering Emperor. Always happy to see you against Merit Lage. And it's a good turn to Ponder. Minor misstep. Is there anything else that can beat a Loam here? Going along, not really. Both of my Force of Negations have been used already. Yeah, I think I'll grab this Scalding Tarn and just hit a land drop this turn. That lets me upgrade my 2 1/1s into a 1/2/2. So I don't think that mulch hitting 2 Loams was pretty much the end of this game. Though Humility might be great against this deck, but they just have Boseiju. No, they're over the hump here, and not much I can do. They're getting Bojuka, Bog, Boseiju, and Maze. Alright. Maze of Ith. I don't even need to shuffle unless I want to. There's like Shark Typhoon, Minor Misstep on top of my deck. I don't actually want those. I can hang something out into a Wasteland, it's fine. And I would rather Shark than Emperor here. This definitely should have been Plateau or Tundra, though, not the fucking red source that doesn't do anything. Okay, they're Bosejuing my staff in response. Okay. I'll tutor up another source of mana. And I'm definitely paying for all of my friends here. Leaving up white over blue, because that's more important right now. Tundra in play. I'm going to put you at 8 here. Yeah, as annoying as this Tabernacle is, I am kind of swarming them, and getting hit by 2 Boseijus has ramped me out to a point where I'm applying real pressure. Wandering Emperor can remove Merit Lage without me giving them 20 life. Exploration, brutal. Where's that Minor Misstep when I needed it? Field of the Dead. Okay, I mean, that steps on their own Tabernacle a little bit. They can copy field and do more stuff. But my creature's all flying. Okay, Giant Shark in the end step. Basically all this Giant Shark does is free up my 2/2 Shark, but it's still extra damage. And it's a 4/4 blocker between me and their zombies. Looking through Tabernacle on Moto is worse than playing against Tabernacle on Moto. It's the actual impact of this card on the game versus the amount of seconds it takes me to click through it. Just killing me. A Force of Will. It's not pretty, but it does answer the next Loam as we try to close this tempo game. And I just pass priority here. They take 4, they're dead on board. I have Force of Will. They can copy their Maze with Thespian Stage, but I can drop Wandering Emperor for extra power and toughness. Yeah, I can attack with all 2/2s next turn. I end step Wandering Emperor, buff a Spirit, and then on my turn plus buff another Spirit. And then I'm attacking for 4 no matter what. They're paying for their zombies. I like that. I don't care about those at all. They dredged Loam. Loam targeting Boseiju, Thespian Stage, Wasteland. Basically doesn't matter. Force of Will. They have 1 card in their hand. I have lethal on board. Okay. We win, right? I don't see a way out of this for them, and they have no cards in their hand. I'll block one of these zombies. That's free. So is attacking with it, basically. They can't block, might as well push for 2. And the old Wandering Emperor for an end step pump. The rarely seen, but in this case, correct. Wow! I did not think we were winning that game. Delver of Secrets, baby. Every deck is Delver. Ruination's great here. Force Negation's great here. They're a pretty aggressive force check deck, which I'm fine leaning into. They're also a big-time graveyard deck. Supreme Verdict can mop up a zombie horde. So does Ruination. Keeps a zombie horde off my back. Minor Misstep hits almost every spell in their deck. I'll leave one Verdict still in, one Shorikai still in. Against the Beseiju deck, though, maybe Shorikai doesn't belong at all. Humility is interesting, but I'm already pretty good against Merit Lage. Yeah, I don't think I want Humility. And I don't want this many Plows. As good as Plow is against Merit Lage, I have my Emperors, I have a ton of flying blockers that can waste time. I don't have a Caracas in the deck, the one thing I miss. Second time that's come up in this league. Probably want to add one. Force Negation's great. Is Dovin's Veto something I want? Probably not on the draw, it's a little slow. Prismatic Ending hits all the exploration effects, the mana bonds, etc. Yeah, this works for me. Okay, I'm in. It needs some action, but I'm not going to get cheesed. On the play, this hand would be unbeatable. Unfortunately, I would have to force a mana bond here. If I have to force something turn 1, it's going to be Force of Will, pitching Force of Will. Force of Negation and Minor Misstep both have implications going along that Force of Will doesn't necessarily have. This could be bait. They could have just aimed to Taract me, but I'm taking the bait. I don't care. Oh yeah, now we're going. I'm ready for the next mana bond. Winding Way. That I don't care about because I'm about to get rid of your graveyard. Wasteland, Field of the Dead in their hand. I think I want to staff first because they're not doing anything with Rest in Peace right now. I don't actually care about that at all. And I still have Force Blue card in an emergency. Now there's something between me and a Merit Lage. Okay. I do actually have to counter that because of the Field of the Dead in their hand. I don't know if they just ripped that or if they had it and, okay, they just had 3 of them this game. Sure. But even if every card in their hand is a land, Field of the Dead isn't on right now. But I am in trouble. I would love to see them put in 2 lands and discard Loam. Just play right into my Rest in Peace and fart around for a while. Because whatever this is, if Loam's not involved, they're all in. Who decline the mana bond trigger, resolved your stupid spell, and then didn't use it. Deal. Rest in peace. I'm just doing it. This is more important than drawing a card right now. Whatever card is in their hand, they decided it wasn't worth throwing their hand into play for, and many of their engines work through the graveyard. It could just be a mulch, which would make sense to wait. Wasteland, we knew about that. Ooh, some 4-mana spell. Force of Vigor. Alright, yeah, that's real good. Okay, fair enough. Let's draw the land for Shorikai and take over. Bummer. Wander. Lane, Shark Typhoon, Wandering Emperor. Pretty happy with this whole spread. Play my planes and attack. We have Field of the Dead and 1 mystery card over there. Yeah, if I had just been more patient and not jammed my staff, Minor Misstep, the mana bond, mulch something, or Force of Negation would still be in my hand for this Loam, which is now online. Luckily, that's a lot of copies of Wasteland, which are both ineffective against my deck and don't trigger Field of the Dead. Is all I want in the world. The top card of my deck is a land. No, it's Shark Typhoon. Okay. I'm just going to attack, hang out with my Wandering Emperor. They're going to start Field of the Deading. Oh, wow. Loam missed. It hit another Field of the Dead, which again is not a name that increases the Field of the Dead density. And I'm dead the second this hits, but can spend a little longer without it hitting at least. I also get to know if they're deploying their mana bond before I play my Wandering Emperor. And they did not. Emperor, Wander. Make a 2/2. Shark Typhoon in hand. Back for 3. I'm going to make another 2/2, which pretty quickly becomes irrelevant if they get into Field of the Dead. But Shark Typhoon's a 2/2 flyer. Verdant Catacombs, Nurturing Peatland. Okay. They are deeply and insanely in the Field of the Dead now. All of their patience has paid off here. I guess I should have cycled to see if I spike a force here. Because I'm cycling anyway. Yeah, look at all these fucking cards. Here they come. Yeah, I was just impatient. If I save... or no, they had 3 mana bonds. I countered 1 and they played another in the same turn. So being patient would not have saved me this game. Not that I am against patience. But in this case, it was not the problem. Okay, deck. Well, can I beat this force? They have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Or this is 20. They have 14 of these jerks. I'm going to put a +1 counter on Samurai. I'm going to attack with my ground creatures. Offer some trades and blocks. And then I'll do math to see if it's worth revealing that I have Ruination in my deck or not. No, they have a fetch land in play. They could fetch a basic, trigger, field 2 more times, copy that basic with Thespian Stage twice, and just be right back in the business next turn. So it's not worth revealing that my deck has Ruination. Okay, you got me. Just a little late. That is what I was playing too, but they found it before I could stuff it. Really good Force of Negation, or Force of Vigor out of them as well. Yeah, maybe Supreme Verdict is better than I thought if we play to those spots where I just got to clean up what's already there. And I can shave a staff, I guess, or is I think Shorikai is worse than staff. Sorry, Shorikai. Oof. I'm gonna keep. My hand sucks against Wasteland, but I do have a nice minor misstep lineup here. I'm gonna lead on Volcanic Island because I care about it less. Forest. Exploration, minor misstep. Basic Plains. I think I want to Brainstorm. Cool. More answers to stuff. Swords to Plowshares is a way later situation, if it matters at all. And I'm going to play Basic Plains. I'm not going to cast this Ponder. I have Staff on top, and then I can play Staff next turn and draw a card right away. Winding Way. Not going to counter that. I hit Urborg, Brajuka Bog, Mazabeth. Okay. And I will play my Staff. It gets the cantrip right away, which gets me through the Brainstorm, and I'm drawing Wild starting next turn with Force of Will still available. I did bring in my other Supreme Verdict, right? Yeah, okay. Force pitching Verdict on this mana bond. They have a second one again. Cool. All right. I've been gotten. I know my top card couldn't answer that, so didn't need to draw there. Okay, what's the damage? Is there a Field of the Dead? There is a Life from the Loam. No Field of the Dead. This actually isn't that good. It will depend on if I can answer Life from the Loam or not. I get 5 looks here at Force of Negation or Rest in Peace. I'm going to Ponder off of my Valk. And there's Force of Negation. Cool. I will not shuffle my library, and then I'll pass the turn. I'll try for a cheeky point here. They remembered Demazavith. I won't do that again. It was fun, though. Okay, Loam. Don't dredge another Loam. It did not. They saw me keep a Ponder, so they should know this isn't going to work, but it's not like they have another line. Minor Misstep is basically only worried about crop rotation at this point, where I have Swords to Plowshares and multiple different colored flying blockers to keep Merit Lage off my back. They're probably deciding if they want to activate Nurturing Peatland before they Loam, and I would. There it is. Force of Negation, pitching the Minor Misstep. If I get Veil of Summered, I deserve it, but I don't think that's a card that this deck normally plays. Mana Bond Trigger did not put anything in. Here's a land. This land gives me Shark Typhoon plus draw a card. Oh, I said I wasn't going to do that again, and I won't. Okay. Okay, just don't have another loam right away, please. I'm gonna let Mana Bond trigger before I do anything else. And then it's another land under this right now. I will take my shuffle then. I didn't have to because of Yavimaya. I am in the market for a Ruination. I'm going to make a 1/1 Shark and draw another card. I just want to ruin this opponent before they get anything going. Because the Shark functionally attacks for 1 anyway because of Maze of Ith. If I made a bigger Shark, they would just maze that and the Spirit would connect. Hello? They do have 2 basics in play and a Thespian Stage. They actually end up with more lands than me if I Ruination here, so I'm going to use my better judgment and chill. Supreme Verdict, Prismatic Ending. Gotta hide this plateau from my own spells. Supreme Verdict and Ending can go back. I'm going to end their Mana Bond, and I can attack for 1 here. This is actually really tough. I am Brainstorm locked and not really doing anything. Okay, gotta hope that they just fail for 2 turns. Not that I'm in danger of dying. I have the Ruination and the Plow, another Ending on top. Oh, they drew a Loam, stop. Peatland, Wasteland, Catacombs, shit. Hit their 2-outer before I drew, like any of the blue cards in my entire deck. That's magic. Prismatic Ending doesn't help here. They have enough mana to Maze of Ith and still Thespian Stage. Kind of got to catch them slipping here with this stage. Yeah, I'm fucked. Doing so good. Oh no, and they had a Field of the Dead just in their hand. That wasn't part of the loam. Jeez. I did know about that one. I'm drawing Wild starting next turn. God, that loam right there when it happened. I'm a big salty joker. And this Plateau just being Plateau. The 1 non-basic left in my deck. Can't even get myself up to parity. They're not dredging loam, they're just taking draws here. It's really interesting. Guess I'll block. I'm now in a holding pattern where I need to either draw a good card or get them to mess up and then punish them for it. And that's basically my whole strategy. Thespian Stage, good. They just copied the field. That is one of the things I was playing towards. And Verdant Catacombs, not great, but okay. Let's see where this goes. Do I plow one of these now? How many basic forests do I think they have, and how quick do I think they can rebuild? They could literally just make Meryl Age. I'm gonna go to my turn. Okay. I drew a basic land, that's good. I'm gonna Ruination now. Okay, splat. Hope this holds up. Okay, let's see if you have a basic forest. You do not. Okay, so the Bayou becomes 2 more zombies before it all goes away. And you get to draw a card, sure. Which can dredge loam if it wants to. It did not. And all of that is gone. And I guess I just Prismatic Ending one of the zombies now to try to be alive. I have Supreme Verdict in hand. Maybe that ending was aggro, because if they found a Mana Bond, I mean, I can't get through that anyway. I'm gonna block 2 of this damage, probably Supreme Verdict on my turn, and hope they're not completely rebuilt by then. If they don't have an Exploration, we're actually like doing okay. Wasteland I don't care about. Okay. Let the pieces come together here. They even have the other Ruination if they rebuild too hard. And they can waste that, and I only have Basic Mountain left to play that on. Oh no, what is this? Oh, Cycle Tranquil Thicket. Okay. I don't like that, but could be worse. A Rest in Peace ends this game. They just mulched a Maze of Ith Karak as Overgrown Tomb to their hand. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Life from the Loam just targeted Thicket, Field, Peatland. Come on, rest in peace. Ponder, find rest in peace. Oh no. Staff does draw me a bunch of cards and my basic mountains here, so I am going to keep all... Oh no, I misclicked! Oh no. Can I Control Z this? Oh fuck my life. Alright. Well, instead of drawing a card and making a creature this turn, I simply won't do that instead, because I clicked my ponder wrong. Good thing this game wasn't super fucking close. Cycling Thicket. There's Nurturing Peatland back. Okay, here I will be able to draw 2 cards immediately, which is kind of nice. Or I'm going to go white, red. I don't actually need red mana on their turn at all. They don't have Force of Vigor? Okay, no Force of Vigor. And I would like to draw one of these cards now. Ponder. That's a card I can cast. Lands and Shark Typhoon. Shark Typhoon does reload the squad. I do still have my land drop. Okay, I'll play Flooded Strand. This gives me Swords to Plowshares and activate the staff if I need those things. They're still dredging Loam. If I find Rest in Peace and jam the other Ruination, this game is over. Loam targeting Field, Thicket, Stage. Okay. Blast Zone. Okay. That can kill my stabs next turn. I think they will have drawn a bunch of cards by then. I'm drawing a card. It's going to be Shark Typhoon. Then I'm going to shuffle before I draw this other Flooded Strand. They could Wasteland my Flooded Strand in response. Try to mess with me. Gotta go to cleanup here. Discard 2 cards. Azavith and Wasteland in the bin. Don't want this Flooded Strand. I want this Island. So, yeah, I think the second Island, does that even matter? Or it gives Force of Negation play. Rest in peace. Okay. I will... What happens if I Ruination now? How far back does that send them? The answer is pretty far. But it's not GG, which is what I want. I attack with my Spirit. And I'm going to pass the turn. Charge up Blast Zone. In response, I'm going to make a 1/1 Shark, which gives me draw 2 plus the Shark cycle. This is draw 3 plus leaves up Swords to Plowshares. Wandering Emperor, Blast Zone's up to 2, and go. They're in Field of the Dead again. And we know they have one kicking around. There it is. Draw my cards in the end step. This is the turn deck. Come on. I got 6 mana. That's enough to Rest in Peace plus Ruination. Staff for Prismatic Ending. Staff for Staff. Okay. Force of Negation. Not really what I'm looking for here. I think I'm at a point where it's good enough to Ruination. Just got to work with what I've got here. Ruination. The other one. Still holding up Plow. I can redeploy Staff. They can draw a card and Blast Zone. Okay, my zone is blasted. Your lands are gone. I'm in much better position this time around. And I'll drop the other Staff of the Storyteller. And I'll let this zombie come for me and get my attack for 2 in. Really, really wish I had a blue card to go with this Force of Negation. This has turned out to be a great match, whichever way this goes from here. Something about having 8 basic lands and 2 Ruinations in your deck just does it for me. There are 25 cards in my deck to their 18, if it comes down to that. Cycling Tranquil Thicket. There's 1, 2, 3. 3 mana bonds accounted for. Azavith was their play. Okay. Trying to stem the bleeding. Wandering Emperor. Attack with my things that I have. And I could try to draw a card off Staff and spike the Rest in Peace and just shut it down. I think I want to do that. That turns off Wandering Emperor, maybe. Okay, but I hit blue card. There are 7 cards in my hand. I can pass the turn from here. So I can Force of Negation or Loam now, which they're not even doing. They've just been making land drops basically this whole game. I will take my 2. Second Mazavith. Right, I mean, this is entirely unsexy, but I'm going to Swords to Plowshares this zombie. My mana's getting tight, and I am losing the race. The Staff of the Storyteller. Unbeatable Magic card. Looks like they're winding up a Force of Vigor here. Okay, sure. I'll just let that happen. They pitched a Loam to do it. I have what I need to win the game. at this point. I just need to do it in 5 minutes. Having seen most of my deck at this point without a single Rest in Peace, of which I play 2, is a bummer. We're getting a crop rotation in the end step. I'm gonna Force of Negation that. Don't know what it gets, but I'm not messing around with it. They are dredging loam. They found Tabernacle. Stop. That's probably what the crop rotation was going to get. And I don't have a blue card to force this. They are going to time me out with Tabernacle. Oh, they didn't play it. What just happened? I don't know what just happened, but I'm not going to be upset about it. Okay, I'm just going to pass the turn here. Exploration, fine. Not happy about it, but I have Prismatic Ending that hasn't done anything this whole game. Tabernacle Maze. And this is super annoying because I am winning this game, except that I'm not winning this game. Just due to clock and how Tabernacle works. Pay 1, yes. Pay 1, yes. +1 counter on a Spirit. Just Ponder. There's a Rest in Peace, which is no longer what I'm really looking for. Yeah, if I could just tap 4 lands and put them off to the side and not have to click each one by one, the way you do on Magic Online, the way that people play in paper, I would be fine here. But I'm going to try to make a real effort out of this. Force of Will, 1 more for the road. And then I'm going to Rest in Peace them. Field of the Dead. Maybe I can deck them. If I just no, yes, yes, no, yes, no. Jesus, stop asking me twice, Magic Online. I'm in a hurry. Rest in Peace. I can minor misstep a crop rotation, which is the only thing I'm still worried about. I think I can genuinely deck them in time it would take me to otherwise lose. I also forgot to Wandering Emperor last turn, but it's fine. That's just wasted time anyway. Dramatic Ending your zombie. And I'll make a 2/2. Okay. So if I don't get Merit Laged and I can play 9 more turns, I can go. And they have to pay for their Tabernacle now too. Not being Field of the Dead, yep. That's a big ask under Tabernacle. Alright, yeah, they got a bunch of those. Looks like to their credit, they are genuinely trying to play it out with me here, which I appreciate. We both have actual win conditions. And make a 2/2. Pass. I'm not attacking into their maze, which would make them click, but I'm not gonna. I am trying to play to genuine result here. Because I do think I can get one. Okay, I get to block with all my creatures, trade off with all of theirs, which means that I'm not worried about Tabernacle anymore. I have 2 Wandering Emperors. This one can eat this creature and I gain 2 life. And then I can pass. And they didn't make any land drops last turn. They'll deck before I run out of time. If we just go into an F6 fight. I hope that's true. If I don't get too silly about it. As long as I do my diligence here. Yeah, I'm not going to make a creature. I have to do some weird Magic Online stuff here. It's not pretty, but my opponent's got 3 cards left in their deck. Making another Tabernacle, which Legend rules one of them. Interesting. Are they just trying to run out my clock by taking game actions? A viable strat, I suppose. Yeah, they have 3 cards left in their deck. I have 2 counter spells in my hand. Something's happening in the end step. Force of Vigor, my Rest in Peace. Okay. Maybe I'm supposed to counter that, but I don't know what they're going to do with the last cards in their hand. Recopying Field of the Dead. Or no, they're making another Tabernacle. Yeah, they're just running out my clock. That's what's happening. Or are they actually going to Endurance themselves? I will counter this Loam. Don't know why, but I'm going to. Okay, I just need to click through 3 more draw steps of theirs in 30 seconds. I'm F6'd on everything. I can plow this Merit Lage, not worried about it. They didn't even make the Merit Lage. I can go to 4 from this attack and then they're decked. Yeah, so this game, I think the result is the same in paper. I think I actually genuinely outswarm them in paper. So maybe not with the Field of the Deads and their Tabernacle, and they don't have to spend the time on that. That's actually really close. But yeah, the triple Mazavith, maybe I'm not getting through that. I don't know, but I just freaking decked them fair and square. GG's. On to the next one. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the play in round 4. I'm going to mulligan this. This is too heavy. 5 lands, 4 drops. Here we go. I'm going to keep this one and send Shorikai to the bottom. Shorikai was my easiest blue card for Force, but I think it's okay that I hang back on the Ponder. And I'm leading on planes. I don't know what my opponent's doing. Okay, they're thought seizing me is what they're doing. Some combo deck. Took my Ponder, no surprise there. Now I wish I had a blue card. Hey, that's a good blue card. I don't want them to know that I drew that good card. Ponder from them. Wasteland, come on. Oh, you're this? It's some sort of tempo deck rather than Doomsday. Fair enough. Ooh, the staff and Shorikai. Squat. We're here. Squat up. Okay, I mean, if they daze me here, that sucks, but if they don't, my engine's on. Force of Will. That's the correct amount of respect. If my Force of Negation was Force of Will, I would have fought back on that. Even against the Daze, I would have 2-for-1 myself against Daze to get staff into play in this spot. Okay, Death Shadow confirmed. Not that I had a lot of doubt after the Wasteland. Some mid-range Baleful Strix nonsense. I guess it's possible this is some hybrid. I don't think it is, though. Those are out there. The Doomsday Dark Depths, or not Dark Depths, Doomsday Death Shadow hybrids. Yeah, go ahead, Thoughtseize me. Take my swords, play a Death Shadow, beat me to death. Oh, they took Shorikai. Interesting. You think the game's going to go that long, and you're not worried about Force Negation at all, or Swords to Plowshares. Those are the factors that result in them taking Shorikai. Crazy. Okay, I mean, the things that they told me about their hand seem to be true, because they're just over there making land drops and not actually advancing or doing anything. I'd love to draw another staff right now. That's what I need in my life. The third land I drew being plains and not island is kind of tough, because now I can't force a negation cleanly. Alright, deck. I'm good on these. Can I have a staff of the Storyteller? Another draw go. Okay, now I'm online. I can force a negation and plow in the same turn if I need to with force backup. And they're just cracking fetch lands going to 6. Thoughtseize, I will force some negation this. And I'll do it off basic island. I have white. There's no reason to get frisky with a Tundra here. To Turok's going to take 2 cards anyway. Might as well make it the bad ones. And then I'll leave plow in my hand for what's probably a threat. Staff of the Storyteller. Staff of the Storyteller. I'll take that though. With an opponent at 6. Okay, they can hard cast Snuff out and be pretty happy with that exchange, but I'm still going 2-for-1 here and presenting a threat against their tiny little life total. And I do think they have a threat in their hand. Oh wow. They went for life total Snuff out. Didn't even blink. So that makes me think they have Force of Will. Hello? Okay, so they're hard casting Force of Will. And they can't Snuff out now, they can't Thoughtseize now, can't cycle Street Wraith, and my Shark's going to be bigger than their life total. I'm just going to fetch another basic island right now, and what I'm doing is intentionally showing them how many basics I have, so if they get it in their head next game that they'd like to aggressively wasteland me, maybe they'll reconsider. Fatal Push. Still 2-for-1 here. And now I have Force of Will and Swords to Plowshares against what I expect is their Force of Will and Swords to Plowshares. Or not Swords to Plowshares, Force of Will and Threat. Dream Verdict. Okay. I'm unlikely to lose quickly unless they actually are a Doomsday Pivot. Brainstorm. Wow, I don't want them to have that. But is it worth a force? Yeah, I think so. Their hand clearly sucks, or they would have been doing stuff. And my hand isn't exactly rock solid right now. Okay, I'll leave this Flooded Strand in my hand, land number 7, compared to paying off a Brainstorm I draw or insulating against a Hymn to Turok. Okay, I found a staff. I suspect it will get forced immediately, but I am going to play it. Let's flush out that force we've been looking at the whole game. Yep. Draw go. Come on, Shark Typhoon. Okay, Brainstorm. It's time. Minor misstep. Sure, fair enough. Well, if they had minor misstep, I don't think they have a threat anymore, because that answers the plow. I have to imagine I have better top decks than them in this spot, if they are traditional Shadow. They could also be holding any number of Thoughtseizes and Street Wraiths and whatever the heck, that they just can't use at 2 life. They're wasting me in my upkeep. I don't care. Prismatic Ending. Now I will play another land out. I just have a bunch of stuff. 6 seems like a good number. That's Hardcast Force plus some 1-minute interaction. My hand is 4 removal spells. 2 of them are uncounterable rats. They're going to need a combo pivot to get this done anytime soon. Top bottom the Preordained that didn't play anything. I'm not going to fire off Brainstorm knowing they're a minor misstep deck. Can be patient. It's their job to do stuff in this matchup, not mine. Death Shadow. Resolves. They know about Swords to Plowshares, which is the tough thing here. I'm going to try to bait a fight here, but they might just want their 13 life back. Yeah, that could have been a trick the whole time. Oh. How about Humility? What do you think about that? That's tough for their deck to beat. Okay, Force Pitching Daze. Fair enough. And I jammed that when they didn't have 5 mana up, got 2 cards off the Force. Ponder, cool. Force of Will, Swords to Plowshares. I actually don't want these cards. I want threats. I have answers. I'll take Minor Misstep. And I'm still being patient on the Brainstorm. I don't really want to change the cards in my hand. I'll wait till I have an extra land or something actually just bad. Murktide Regent resolves. I've got Supreme Verdict for that all day. This is the kind of party we're having. I reveal to my opponent. And I would like to Brainstorm away this Plateau. That's why I didn't play it. Okay, now I'm going to go for Brainstorm. I can misstep a misstep. And I just don't want any of these lands. Shark Typhoon, exactly what I'm looking for. They're back up to 7 in hand, though. This could be a lot of stuff. All right, Murktide, you got it. I'll shuffle in the end step. An Island. Staff of the Storyteller. Okay. I'm going to Ponder first. If I find Plow and can get interaction going, okay, cool. And save the Supreme Verdict. Those are things I'm interested in. So if I Plow and you counter, I could still Verdict here. I could also play Staff, block for a turn, turtle up, and try to make this game go longer. I can even take a hit from Murktide. That's not a huge deal. Okay. Yeah, I'll pass the turn here. Make you work first. And Snuff Out's just so clean that I think they'll be okay here. I'm gonna misstep this. Ponder, go for it. The way I get super punished here is if they kill my token, counter my Plow, and then Thoughtseize my Supreme Verdict, and then I could just die. Hope I don't get punished for my greed. Snuff Out. Okay. I want Wandering Emperor, but I also want to play around Daze. Let's see if this Plow works. I guess it doesn't matter, because I already used my misstep. And now we've tapped them out of Force of Will on the hardcast as well. And brought them over 13 life again. Fetch, fail to find. We're in the end game, kids. My top card is Wandering Emperor, which gets the staff online. Draw for turn. And I will simply pass. I'm going to take one from Baleful Strix. I just don't care. Cycling Street Wraith. Getting that life total back down. Wasteland. There is 1 target left for that in my deck. Activate my staff. Shorikai's here. Going to fetch basic planes. Yeah, 3 and 3 looks like a good mix. And then Shark Typhoon applies pressure and refills the staff. mildly concerned about decking myself. Like, I can't really go in on Shorikai anymore in this game. And I don't play endurances, so just gotta watch my card count. One fetchable land left, and yeah, I can't play Shorikai. Gonna have to win with Wandering Emperors. Take the hit from Strix, that's fine. I don't know how many forces are still in their deck, actually. I have one more Emperor after this one. And I think I have one more Shark Typhoon. Okay, they're just good. That was a 25 turn game against Death Shadow. Turns out they could not out-control the deck with 2 Supreme Verdicts in it. Okay, Force of Negation's out. Humility's in. They're not really a graveyard deck. It's not really the type of deck I want to Ruination, though it will win if it resolves. Pyroblast looking good. Dovin's Veto is not bad either. I don't want to go too heavy on this kind of stuff, but I don't love a Force of Will. Yeah, I could just go 0 forces, and then Minor Missteps, Pyroblast, Dovin's Vetoes, 1-for-1 them forever. I'm convinced. Okay, mono blue. Don't really want a mulligan, but so I won't. I'm just going to keep. There are Thoughtseize Hymn to Turok deck. I've shown them a wall of removal. They've shown they're willing to go 25 turns with me. I will trust my deck to provide white mana before I am dead. Brainstorm already a great start. Thoughtseize, I'll Brainstorm in response. This gives them a good target for days, but I don't think that matters that much. My hand already kind of sucks against days, so getting it off on this Brainstorm instead of my payoff spell, not the worst. Ponder. I will make my land drop first. This Ponder I don't want dazed for sure. And there's a white source. I'm going to put it under this Minor Misstep and draw the Misstep. It's not the stability of white source I wanted, but it's here. Tapped land. Passing the turn to me. Here's a white source. Regrettably wastable, but it will at least cycle Shark Typhoon on the way through, get through my Brainstorm, and start looking at more cards again. That's not a wasteland anyway. We're in the clear. High velocity sharks. Never be afraid of a 1-1. Snuff out. Just cracked it off. Get him. Fair enough. There's the prismatic ending. Please, basic planes. Shorikai. Okay. Once again, very worried about Wasteland, which they've made it clear to me they don't have. I'm going to fight this Brainstorm, though. And Dovin's Veto's up for a Hymn to Turok. Another non-Wasteland. Uh-oh. Kraken fetches like crazy over there. Turok, Dread Cantor. Yep. You know perfectly well I can't beat that card. And my Plow and Shorikai went away. Okay, I'm going to have to Supreme Verdict that. I don't play a Caracas. Blooded Strand right on time. I have 4 draw steps to find Supreme Verdict, is basically the equation here. Yikes. Yeah, because they cleared the Plow, they know that's safe. Supreme Verdict just got extra good. Verdict? 7, 11. I'm not dead yet. And now with the extra land, I can Ponder or Brainstorm for more looks at Verdict. This is on 0. Okay. I don't care about that for like a long time. Doing it pre-combat stops me from blocking with Shark. Alright, Verdict, it's time. You're dead. Okay. Well played. Danced around my business, as they do. Turok Dread Cantor. What do I want to do about that? Because it is a big old problem. Humility bricks it, and they do cost the same amount of mana. My opponent is a Dazed Wasteland deck, and I'm not. So their 4 mana is a little different than mine. Shark Typhoon is a blue creature that can interact, but Shark Typhoon and landing a Humility are the only ways I have to stop Turok. I don't think I want Force of Wills back in my deck, though I did just die with 2 Dovin's Vetoes in my hand to a card that could have been forced. Maybe cut a Red Blast for a Dovin's Veto, just get the sampler spread here. Okay, I'll do it like this. A no-lander. I'll be mulliganing this. Okay, I'll keep this one. And bottom Shorikai. Ponder. Shorikai, Minor Misstep, Plow. Yeah, I will keep these around and pass. Gotta play. I hope it's Ponder. Street Wraith. Other Street Wraith. And pass. Okay. Or pass the second main? Nope. Okay, yeah, pass all the way through. I think I want to just pass here. Minor Misstep plus Plow cover a lot of problems. And when they didn't Thoughtseize me, I feel like they kept Daze. And getting the first staff into play is such a big deal. Thoughtseize. Misstep. That's what that's for. It looks like they got one of their own. They're going to take my staff here. But Brainstorm is not that bad. Yep, staff's gone. Drawing Shorikai. And casting Brainstorm. I kind of want to just hide Shorikai on top of my deck. And then cast it next turn. Is that reasonable? Or I could just Ponder now. If I put back Shorikai Volcanic Island, I can fetch Ponder and just see a bunch more cards. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Island, Ponder. Shark Typhoon, Staff, Prismatic Ending. Okay. I don't dislike this. I can play Staff around Daze next turn. Draw a card the turn after that. Shark Typhoon's in my hand to reset the Staff. I have a bunch of removal in the interim. I have less removal in the interim. I was fully expecting him there. That's fine. That's why I stacked the good cards on top of the deck and not in my actual hand. Daze doesn't work here. They'd have to force. We're in there on that. Shark Typhoon on top. That's another blocker, another counter for the staff. We've seen Engineered Explosives in their deck, which can go up to 2 to kill the staff or clear the spirit. If they Turok me here, it does only get 1 card, so it's smaller than previous, but Shark Typhoon is a discard effect. Yeah, and they're just tapping 4 mana here. Yep. Okay, the race is on. They're at 7. I'm at 19. Shark Typhoon miserably grows Turok when you play it. So even if Turok was 2-1, you can't cycle and make a 1-1 Shark and trade. I'm just going to push for damage here. I'll let them set the pace here. If they Thoughtseize me, I'll cycle Shark Typhoon. If they don't, we'll see what's going on. Okay, that makes Typhoon a lot worse. I'll just draw a card then. If we're going to be like that. Staff of the Storyteller, tell me a story. The story is Shark Typhoon. Brainstorm, not unhappy with that. Spirit token, attack. Okay, cool. Now my engine's actually back online, because Shark Typhoon can block, even if it doesn't trade with Turok. I can make a 1-1 chump block, charge up the staff, work my way towards Humility or Supreme Verdict. This does grow the Turok while playing into their removal spells, but I think this is where I have to be. Petty Theft, okay. Turok is slightly larger. I need a Supreme Verdict anyway. And a White Source. I actually can't even cast Supreme Verdict if I draw it. Swords of Plowshares. So close. Brainstorm. Dovin's Veto, White Source. Okay, Volcanic Island goes back, and no shuffle here. That's shitty. Tundra and Volcanic Island both go back. Play another basic. And I can draw a card this turn. Brainstorm from the opponent. Kind of wish I played Tundra now, so I could Dovin's Veto this and draw a card. Humility doesn't help here because Turok is already a creature with counters on it. And it would turn off the protection, and then I could plow it, but that's a many turn line. Just going to take the hit from Turok this time. And draw the extra card. Okay, I think I want to play Tundra. This line I can make a Shark. And if they kill it, I could plow it. I'll probably plow this Brazen Borrower, though. I'm just going to hit that right now while I can. Now I can make a 1-1 Shark and draw a card. Turok is 4 power. It'll become 5 when I make a Shark. And I get my chump block through. Going to be 2 more cards I get to see, plus draw step. So 3 cards here, looking for that Supreme Verdict. Snuff out. Okay. I'm at 3. Dark Typhoon draws Supreme Verdict. Okay. Don't Thoughtseize me, opponent. Right now is the time to not have Thoughtseize in your hand. Play Murktide Regent. Ponder. Uh-oh. Just double down. Put another threat into play. Make sure I'm dead. Don't let a Shark Typhoon stabilize. Did not shuffle. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Okay, okay. Don't have a Thoughtseize under this. Pass a turn, pass a turn, pass a turn. Ponder, okay. They would need land and Thoughtseize here. Did not shuffle again. Okay. We're going to draw with Staff. We're going to Supreme Verdict. And then hopefully be something resembling back in business. 2, 3, 4. Okay, and by playing my Flooded Strand, I'm holding up Dovin's Veto. GTFO, Shark Typhoon in the tank to reload both the board and the staff. So you're saying there's a chance. Oh, they just play a second Turok. Okay. The play here is to cycle Shark Typhoon now. That at least puts a counter on the staff. I do briefly get a token. It's just a 0. And Turok doesn't grow in the meantime. Enforce a Will is in my deck. Okay. Let's hope that they miss the Ponder on this Turok. They missed the Ponder on the Turok. Okay. There's one more Supreme Verdict in my deck. And what, one more Shark Typhoon or 0? 1, 2, 3. One more Shark Typhoon. Ponder, let's go. Find that other verdict. Opponent Force of Will that. Ponder, find the other verdict. Oh, they had Force and Force? Okay. Staff, find the last Shark Typhoon into the last verdict. That was a great game. Yep, opponent played that extremely well. They were not afraid to get scrappy in the goop with the big blue-white control deck, which didn't work game 1. But once they have multiple Turok Dread Cantors, I even sideboarded to plan for it, and this list is just pretty soft to that card. Supreme Verdict and Humility being the only outs. Playing some Dress Downs would help. And Shark Typhoon could buy time, but that's not really an answer. Great match. On to the final round. I'm on the draw for the final round. Also, before this round launches, Caracas is an answer to Turok Dread Cantor. Just throwing that out there. That's 3 matches in this league that I said Caracas would be good in. Okay, opponent just firing off Ancient Tomb Walking Ballista. Not going to force that. I'll just Prismatic Ending that. Weird. Ooh. This Plateau is tempting, but I think... No, I'm just going to Plateau. Whatever. I got a lot of Prismatic Endings in my hand. I would really like to Ponder on turn 2 and have the ability to shuffle, and Tundra does that, but there's also a good chance I force something this turn if this is like Initiative, because Walking Ballista in the main deck with Soul Lands is a thing that Initiative has done. Dark Ritual, oh baby. Ravenloft Adventurer, which is one of the newly available Initiative cards on Magic Online. It's basically just a 4-drop that gives you Initiative, and there may or may not be some flavor text on it. Well, bad news, folks. They're untapping into their 4th mana, and if they just have another shot at this, we are under the shit for the Initiative. I hope they just cast Grief or some bad card here instead of a good one. Nope, that is not only a good one, it's the best one. You know what my deck's pretty bad at doing? Taking the Initiative. And I have Shark Typhoon. There's some stuff going on here, but my hand currently not in a good spot to do it. Ponder, save me. Okay, Staff of the Storyteller and Shark Typhoon, both in the hand. Kind of awkward that all my lands are fetch lands. I just literally want all of these cards. I'm going to get and cast Staff. That's my plan. And I'm going to fetch Tundra. If this is a Wasteland deck at this point, go ahead, get me. Okay. Spirit Token in play, ready to fight for the Initiative. Not that Seasoned Dungeoneer is a creature that I can really tangle with. You know, some of the secret words on this card are can't be blocked. It gives itself protection from creatures. And they're going into the Forge. They're just like, screw you, buddy. You're dead. And they're probably right. I need a Swords to Plowshares, Prismatic Ending. My deck can't get up to 4 colors. Get to explore a Thoughtseize. Please keep that. My hand sucks. I invite you to Thoughtseize it at the cost of your next draw step, please. I am taking 6 though. It's a lot of damage. And if they have a Solitude or literally anything, then I take the rest of my life total next turn. They did bin the Thoughtseize, not interested. A correct assessment. Raven Lost Adventurer is a human, and so is Seasoned Dungeoneer. So Cavern of Souls is live. I know there's a bunch of these black-white initiative decks around. People are working on them. I don't know exactly what the composition of each is. Okay, I mean, Force of Negation is not a blank. If they have Swords to Plowshares, I can actually tangle with it. They could just cast Solitude. Oh, Sudden Edict. Fuck me, is what you said to me. Understand. Alright, I'll draw a card. Try to find a plow to not be dead. Oh, so close. What a tease. Alright. Well, there's that. Turn 2 initiative, turn 3 initiative. I had one of them covered. Humility's good here. And basically nothing else is. Wow. This might be a deck that I have to Ruination, but as a initiative deck, they're going to contain some amount of basic lands, at least enough to tutor up with the initiative door. Yeah, it's really just a second Humility and hope that my Force of Wills hold up. There's no Dress Down in the deck, nothing to bridge here. Yikes. I guess be on board and take the initiative, then control the creatures is something resembling a plan. They are a Dark Ritual Thoughtseize deck, so Minor Misstep has hits. Force of Negation, I don't like it, but it can hit a Dark Ritual and buy me a turn. I think Prismatic Ending comes out for Force of Negation, and we saw Prismatic Ending not line up against their 4-drops, and this is what I'm doing. So far, Dress Downs and Karakas are cards that I would offer up to improve this deck. Force of Will, Supreme Verdict, and a creature. I'll keep pretty slow, but let's go. Plains pass. Grief. Oh no. I'm getting grief scammed. I'm just going to force grief, pitching Supreme Verdict. I'm not going to let them take my force, ephemerate, and then kill me. If they have a second wave here of turn 1 initiative creature, good job. I play enough Modern to know not to let the first grief resolve. Snow-covered plains. Good chance there's an ephemerate in their hand. Alright, this land is great. That's land number 3 for Shark Typhoon. Can get going. Scrub land, go. Okay, yeah. And now Force of Will back up. Let's go. If they cast an initiative creature this turn, I think I'm just going to let it resolve. Because I can hit them with Shark Typhoon, take the initiative. That initiative room tutors my 4th land if I otherwise miss it. This doesn't have reach, does it? It is holding a bow and arrow, or a crossbow in the art. I just want to make sure. Okay. I am going to let the initiative enter the game. And then I'm going to take it, and then use Supreme Verdict and Force of Will to keep it. That's my plan. It's a bold plan, but I'm not afraid of a bold plan. Grab an island, make a 1/1. Have to imagine Solitude is in this deck. They can't currently Swords to Plowshares, but I can. I might not even need to Plow. Or I might not even need to Wrath. Okay, sick. I am going to take the initiative. Tutor for an island. I'll play the island, and I can play Staff of the Storyteller, who can block, and I'm still holding up Plow and Force. Cool. Let's do this. I probably should have plowed before they had Ephemerate up, but Ephemerate also blows out, or Plow also blows out Ephemerate. I said in game 1 that my deck isn't good at taking the initiative, but I do have a lot of 1/1 flyers. This is awkward because it lets them... Alright, I'm gonna Plow Adventurer in response to this thing. And I'm prepared to force an Ephemerate here. Okay, cool. Plague Engineer resolves. You can have that now. Don't care. My Spirit is gone. They have 4 cards left in their hand. I'm going to go into the Lost Well, because I'm not an aggressive deck. Hey, Humility, what's up? Okay. Blooded Strand on top of the deck, with Humility on top of that. Just topped. I'm sure my opponent is stoked to see all that. I can even draw a card here, actually. To get my Humility down and hit my land drop. And I get to stick Humility with Force backup. And then I can Shorikai next turn. Initiative shit. I can chump block Plague Engineer for a turn, and then clear the board with Supreme Verdict. Or it's not even a chump, it's a trade. What's up, humility? Sudden edict. Shit. Alright, well, I'm losing the initiative. Shorikai's gonna have to get it back. We did see that sudden edict last game. Alright, Shorikai. You're up. You can decide if you want to be pushing damage here. Putting 2+1 counters on a creature under humility does make it the king of the castle. City of Traders. 3 cards in their hand still. Got the Voidwalker, which is a 1/1 with no abilities. And that doesn't change much about the game right now. Staff. Ooh. Is that better than Shorikai? That makes a 1/1 and immediately draws me 2 cards. I think it's better than Shorikai. I mean, Shorikai also makes a 1/1 and charges the other staff and draws me 2 cards. And represents a big ol' 8/8 body hanging out. Shorikai's blue, though, for force. If I need a Supreme Verdict, none of these creatures have any abilities. It's not like the flying matters. I'm going to go Shorikai. I've decided we're going to be flashy and cool here. And I am going to activate it now in case I hit a land drop. I'll discard Ponder because Staff is great and Prismatic Ending is great. Okay. I have to reclaim the initiative before it's too late, is my goal here. I'm in the trap. I'm at 11. I cannot Prismatic Ending their Plague Engineer, unfortunately. And make multiple creatures next turn. They're attacking with everything. I am not going to block. And if they have Sudden Edict, they're going to get me, but I can Force of Will, Prismatic Ending, other things that could block here. City of Traders. Ramping another City of Traders. Please cast Walking Ballista. Oh my god. That just dies with a humility in play. Someone's about to learn the rules. Oh wait, it doesn't just die. It's a 1/1 shit. Yeah, but it doesn't have counters on it. Right, Dress Down is not the same thing. Okay. Prismatic Ending this jerk. Take the initiative. Supreme Verdict. Let's go. Attack. Moment of Truth. And luckily, that didn't really matter what size the ballista was. Like, it couldn't ping whether it was 1/1 or 5/5. So that was pretty good for me. And I'm going to Supreme Verdict right now, take control of this situation, and I can activate Shorikai with my treasure. Okay, now this deck's going to have to figure out how it beats Humility when it has no board presence and is not in the initiative. Okay, end step, Shorikai. Discard a Force of Negation. It's the worst card here by a lot. Charges the staff again. I get a Spooky Skeleton, which is also a token that's going to charge the staff. Did that on purpose. I will draw a card from my staff. I don't think I needed to do that. Maybe just activating Shorikai is better. I'm holding up Force of Will either way. But I think this one's over. Sudden Edict, sure. I'll sack the skeleton. It doesn't have any words on it anyway. And yeah, whatever. I'll play the other staff. Now that we're here, I've got Force in hand. Shorikai can turn this land into another creature. Yeah, it's time to just spam creatures. Throw into the dead 3. We'll put a creature into play. Thoughtseize is fine. I have 2 of the important card. Cool. That was sweet. I don't really expect to get one of those on the draw, but there it was. Humility game. Okay, keep in mind Sudden Edict. It's blown me out twice now. The thing about Sudden Edict is there's not a lot you can do to play around it. That's why they chose that card instead of Fatal Push. Prismatic Ending, do I want that in? I don't think so. Yeah, I think this is the deck I have to submit with. Okay, this is not going to work. There's no interaction here at all. Mulligan. Uh-oh. And I have the staff. No forces, nothing. My opponent's on 6 as well. If they go to 5, I'll go to 5. If they keep 6, I have to think. They did keep 6. Them being a Thoughtseize deck is such a beating. And I do have Staff and Typhoon and Supreme Verdict, which are all important parts of my plan. Alright, I'm going to keep this and hope for the best. Send this Wandering Emperor away. Obviously, this hand is not ideal, but chasing a 5 against the Thoughtseize strategy doesn't seem great either. Okay, snow-covered plains. Now planes represent swords to plowshares, so they have to think about a grief line. But if you stack your grief triggers right, you could check for swords to plowshares before you commit to the second wave. Chromox, okay. Chromox pitching Dothy. Okay, it looks like the initiative is joining the game here. Oh, just a little grief. I actually don't mind this. We'll probably take my staff, would be my guess. That is the best card in my hand, which has been a consistent theme of this league. By the way, if you go shopping for Staff of the Storytellers and Shorikais after this, use my TCG player link. It helps the channel. Hit your Swords to Plowshares. That's a good one. I'm not using my red for anything, and this plow actually is pretty dope. So, let's see what we got here. I think I just have to clear this thing. If they play a follow-up initiative creature, then whatever. Plowing that isn't a huge deal. Doesn't change much. This is the turn to draw the blue source to get Shark Typhoon going. This is the moment of truth right now. They have Adventurer, which gets them white, which kills their city, but if they use that one turn of white mana to deploy the Adventurer, it doesn't matter. Okay, here we go. Island. Shit. We're dead. Kept the hand on spec, and they did give me 3 draw steps to cash it out. And not that I think Shark Typhoon wins the game on its own, but it puts something into play that pressures what they're doing. Getting the next card deep, the Supreme Verdict, the take the initiative jam Supreme Verdict line, I think is a good one. But we're not going to get there. Shoulder the Apocalypse. Come on. Okay. I'll take an island now and just wrath both these creatures. God! Right, and we're literally dead on board. Okay, I mean, we knew that was a sketcher, or at least speculative. I won't call it a sketcher. We had 5 draw steps that game to hit one of 4, 5, 9, 10, 14, 15 blue sources. Better than 1 in 4 cards in our deck was an island, and we had 5 looks at it. I don't feel bad about that. Sometimes mulligans just, you don't get the perfect 7 you want every time. And we had to make a choice. Okay, notes on this deck. I don't think it needs 3 basic planes, and Caracas would solve a lot of problems very quickly. Caracas in over a planes. I understand the high density of Force of Negations. So I wonder if some number of this interaction should be dressed down. Like, we can play 5 forces in the main, and then Silence, Rest in Peace, Humility, all good, Meltdown good, the Rebs good, Dove and Veto good, Ruination good. I am adding a dress down to the main in place of one of the Force Negations. There's still Force number 6 in the sideboard, and dress down just is one of those cards that bridges the gap so you don't need to force everything. And depending on your metagame, a second dress down over the Supreme Verdict might make sense for you. But I'm just going to do that. I think just having Caracas to draw for, which came up in 3 of our 5 matches today. Dress down is good against the initiative, and it's good against any sort of Urza Saga business. And we're already kind of a humility deck. We're a literal humility deck, and dress down is humility's sexy little brother. So adding more of that makes sense. Doesn't change the blue count, doesn't change the land count. That's the direction I would move in for the next 5 matches with this, and then you can make further decisions from there. Whoop Orc, this is an awesome deck. Congrats on your 5-0 with it. This is exactly the type of Magic I want to play. I am blown away by Staff of the Storyteller. Awesome card. I don't know if we need Shorikai. I don't know if we need Humility, honestly. This could just be like the currency converter in a Standstill deck. We could play Standstill in this deck. There's a lot of movement in here where Staff of the Storyteller, we already have evidence that making tokens in a blue-white control deck is a way to go because Sharkstill is a token deck. And we could free up some of these goofy slots in Shorikai and Humility with things like Dress Down and just more efficient format interaction. I actually just talked myself into that. I'm adding a Dress Down and cutting a Shorikai. I understand this is like the sexy card. It's going to be this thumbnail of this video. This is the thing that's going to get clicks. And when she goes off, she's really good. But it's just, you have to survive to your 4-drop before you can go off with your 4-drop. And we bottomed Shorikai, bottomed Humility from a lot of opening 6s today. Whereas Dress Down is the type of card I want in my opening hand in most decks. That's where I'm going to leave that. Now I'm done fiddling with it. Poseidus Chihuahua, thank you for the invite to play whatever I want. And I hope this one pleased the crowd. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.